President. We're very glad to have you today. We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order at 5:11 p.m. Um, we will start off with the approval of the minutes from the last General Assembly. For those of you who have not made it to presence yet, it is this awesome platform that the student life coordinators have put together for us to keep track of all of our events and activities, and you can find a recording of that assembly on presence. Can everyone see the General Assembly minutes? Do you see the General Assembly for this time around, Liz, or do you see the old one?
March 4th.
Okay, give me 1 second. I need to share my entire screen. Okay, do y'all see it now? The Word document that's up? Okay, perfect. Thank you, Liz. So last time we gave some introductions. We introduced our new officers. Our fabulous Vice President presented the orders of the day. We addressed some of the special business of getting these elections taken care of, which we will discuss going forward. We did speak about the quorum clause, which at this point we do recognize that in this meeting we do not meet quorum, so we will not be voting on any matters of importance. We will be discussing that in just a minute when we come back to the voting portion of our election. There will be a virtual form that goes out so that we can do votes for things that need to be done. Our SGAs gave their reports about what took place between November of last semester and the meeting of February 2nd. We went on to new business and we discussed those things that took place with the Governmental and External Affairs Committee and the District-Wide Initiatives Committee. Also, discuss the Grievances and Investigations Committee, and that we will be working with Dr. Graves, and we will discuss these things again. Our awesome historian, Nieves, presented information on the payment plans. We did send out follow-up asking students about their experience with payment plans. If you did not receive that follow-up from the last meeting, please let us know in the chat. Talked about presence and HCC cares. We did have some issues that were brought up by students on various campuses about financial aid and disbursements, assistance with setting up events, and then following up on opening the Constitution to part-time students, which it already is done, it already has that done. We had a list of announcements and then we adjourned at 6:21. This document I can put in the chat. If anyone sees any discrepancies or like a spelling or things like that, please let us know and we will get that corrected. At this time, I would like to entertain a motion to approve the minutes as written, barring any grammatical errors. Is there a second? Barring grammatical errors, by the way, means that if we need to fix something grammatically, we can change it. But if there's a major fix, we cannot approve it.
I second.
Okay. So point of order, I can't make a motion because I'm the president. So I need someone else to make the motion. So I entertain the motion that somebody would like to approve the meeting. So I need someone to make the motion.
Madam President.
Secretary recognized.
Hi, I move that we go ahead and approve the official minutes from last meeting.
Okay, there is a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I second.
Okay, there's a motion properly made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Point of inquiry, Madam President.
Secretary recognized.
I didn't catch the name of who seconded for the minutes purposes.
Perfect, thank you. Elizabeth Singleton, Vice President. Seeing that there's no discussion, all those in favor, please type aye in the chat. All those opposed, please type nay. A point of inquiry to our advisor, Miss Ashley Rhodes.
Yes, Madam President.
Seeing that there is a student from every college represented on the call now, does that allow us to meet quorum, or do we need a certain number of students?
We need not a certain number of students. All colleges are represented today. We have majority.
So at this rate, do we meet quorum? Excuse me.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very
No problem.
much. Seeing that there are no nays in the chat, I will say that the meeting minutes are approved as written. And these again are the video and the meeting minutes are published on Presence. If you do not have any information on Presence, please contact your student life coordinator, or feel free to ask us in the chat and someone can respond with the link for you. Moving on to special orders, we're going to go over the appointment of officers. We need all colleges present, Naeem, to meet quorum, and all colleges are present. So seeing that we have met quorum, we can now vote on the appointment of officers. When we met last, I spoke about the treasurer position on the United Student Council being open. I gave the floor to the students to say if anyone was interested. I also sent out a follow-up email asking if students were interested in the position. At this time, we are now trying to fill the treasurer position. I would now like to nominate Naeem Abdul for the treasurer position for the United Student Council. Naeem, do you accept the position or accept the nomination?
Hello, everyone. Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you. Naeem accepts the nomination. And seeing that there are no other candidates running, we can go ahead and I would like to entertain a motion to vote Naeem from Central College as the treasurer for the United Student Council for the remainder of this calendar year. Is there such a motion on the floor?
Madam President.
Vice President recognized.
Point inquiry. Did you just entertain a motion?
Yes, so if I entertain the motion, that means I'm asking somebody to make it because I can't make it.
Yes, ma'am. I understand. So point of, oh Jesus, I forgot what.
You can skip the formalities. It's fine. You can ask your question.
Okay. I make a motion that we appoint Naeem Abdullah as the USC treasurer.
Okay, a motion has been properly made. Is there a second?
Madam President.
Officer recognized.
Carrie Wallace, Secretary, USC. I second that motion.
Is a motion properly made and seconded? Is there any discussion? You can ask Naeem a question. You can ask us a question. You could just ask for the floor or you can write it in the chat. I know there's a lot of formalities in Robert's Rules of Order, but I do want to invite the other officers to participate in the conversation. Okay, seeing that there's no discussion, I will now call the question. All those in favor, please type aye in the chat. All those opposed, please type nay. Only 4 colleges are voted. So if I could have all college representatives please vote on every matter in this legislative body, it is required for us to continue. So I need more than 4 votes on everything we discussed today, please.
All 4 colleges.
Okay, thank you very much. Ayes have it, motion carries. Naeem is going to be the USC treasurer for the remainder of this calendar year. Moving on to the parliamentarian position, all members, or so every position is held by the school or the college rather, as opposed to the student. So for example, Central College now holds the vice president and treasurer seat, and those 2 positions are going to be filled by Central if no other college wants to run for them next year. So at this time, since we had a representative from Southeast last year hold the parliamentarian seat needs to be held by another student at Southeast unless they relinquish their position. So at this time, I would like to invite Bill Davis to let us know if he will be fulfilling the position for parliamentarian for Southeast College.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bill Davis. I am the president of Southeast College. I will take over the position as parliamentarian.
Thank you very much. And since there is no vote needed for that, since the position has not switched from one campus to another, Bill Davis is the effective parliamentarian for the United Student Council, and we are now operating on a full board. Thank you for your time on the elections. All going on to the constitutional amendments. Wanted to bring some amendments to the attention of the assembly that was brought up by our student life coordinators as it pertains to filling positions for next calendar year. So the first set of amendments have to do with when the people are elected. So historically we've done it over the summer, but that doesn't make it available for all students to run or to be involved because it's too late in the year for them to know exactly what's going on. So we would like to amend that to say that it will take place in April during the student leaders election during the General Assembly. So that will give us time to update the new officers and give them all the information that they need and give a fair chance to everyone in the student body. The application process, it says it needs to be no later than 1 week prior to the annual summer retreat. Again, that's prohibiting students who are not involved in the SGA from being involved. So we wanted to open that up to a submitted deadline that'll be on presence and online. This says that each candidate will be allowed a maximum of 3 minutes to give a campaign speech to the General Assembly at the election meeting. Again, wanting to make it open to the public now that we have all these online platforms and things that we can use to share this with the student body. We wanted to open it to the student body and give them an opportunity to participate in picking their elected officials. In this particular clause, we spoke to making sure that electronic ballot was acceptable because prior to COVID, we were doing ballots in person. So now we're, again, broadening the equity lens and making sure that everyone can participate. And then the last major change to these clauses would be that only the president and vice president would need to have previous SGA experience. The other student representatives can be a non-SGA officer, but they must be committed to attending the executive board meetings of their SGA and also being an active member of their SGA so that we can continue the collaborations between SGA and United Student Council. So again, all these measures are to ensure that we are opening up to a wider range of students that can be involved in the United Student Council, who can be involved in SGA, and ultimately have a more unified student experience. I know I breezed through these very quickly. Does anybody want to make any comments, questions, or concerns about anything that was presented today?
Madam President, point of inquiry.
Yes, Madam Vice President.
Are we going to be able to make this document available to the participants here or to our SGA?
Yes, so what I will do right now is put it in the chat. The idea was to vote on these documents today in this meeting. And if the assembly feels like they need more time or we need to call a different meeting for said thing, then that needs to be the discussion here. But I wanted to get the feedback from the body and what they felt like is the most appropriate.
Excellent. Thank you, Madam.
Mm-hmm. Does anyone have any thoughts, comments, concerns, questions? So I just put the first document in the chat. The next document that I would like to present is the recommendation of shortening the period of time in which the amendments could be submitted. Because originally amendments needed to be submitted 30 days prior to 30 days prior to the executive board and then 15 days prior to the General Assembly. But if we do that, we won't have enough time to edit the Constitution and the amendments to allow other students to be involved in running for USC. So this is something that I also wanted to present to you all to see if you had any recommendations, comments, questions, or concerns about us amending this amendment and then amending those other points in the Constitution. Does anyone have any thoughts, questions, concerns, feedback? Okay, I will put this document in the chat as well. So that should be available to you in the chat. At this time, I would like to entertain a motion to make an addition to the agenda. I realized that we did not put a space for SGA reports. So I would like to entertain a motion to add SGA reports before old business. And we'll come back to the voting process after the SGA reports and old business.
Madam President.
Officer recognized.
Motion to add SGA reports to old business.
A motion has been made. Is there a second?
Point of inquiry, Madam President.
Yes.
The delegate that make the motion, can you please state your name or drop it in the chat?
Naeem Abdullah, USC Treasurer, Central Campus President. I'll put my name in the chat.
Thank you very much. There's a motion made. Is there a second?
Madam President.
Okay, whoever makes the motion can't second it. So I'm gonna ask again, is there a second?
Madam President.
Officer recognized.
Elizabeth Singleton, Vice President, USC. I second the motion.
There's a motion properly made and seconded. Is there any discussion? No discussion. All in favor of adding the SGA reports to this agenda, please say aye. In the chat, all opposed, write nay. Okay, at this time, the ayes have it, motion carries. I will now yield the floor to the Coleman representative or president to discuss what Coleman has done between our meeting today and our meeting last month in the first week of February. And then we will continue to yield the floor to the next college until this process is completed.
Hi, everyone. This is Nieves Garcia. I am the SGA secretary. For our report, we have been having some OTA events. So this is in support of the Occupational Therapy Assistant Program, which has a telehealth fieldwork for our students so they can complete that fieldwork there and graduate. So there have been various events starting last week, I believe, and tonight we're actually having another one at 6. We have been having some humanitarian events such as a blood drive, which took place last month, and another event which we had Project Cure, which was last weekend, and we actually went to a place where we sorted medical items for places that might need them. We have also been having financial literacy series with Coleman's financial advisor. So anybody can attend those if you're interested. Just go to Presence and you can find them there. Next week, we will be having a women's empowerment event. And it is
point of order. I'm so sorry, Nieves. All announcements need to be reserved for the end. The
okay.
only thing that we've done last month.
Oh, okay. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I'm moving on to the following month now.
No, the announcements need to be at the end of the agenda.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, we had our first General Assembly meeting already, and we had the second one this past Monday at 7, and our next one will be on April 5th at 7 p.m. I lend the floor to a representative from Central.
Hello, everyone. My name is Naeem Abdullah. I'm the ACC SGA president for Central Campus. And our report consists of, we had a General Assembly meeting last month, which was February 3rd. And we, so in our General Assemblies, I mean, we're not going to speak in detail about the General Assemblies, but that is one of our things. One of our main points that we wanted to take emphasis on is our food distributions that we do monthly. Last month, we did a food distribution on the Central Campus. I'm trying to think of the date that we did it. We're doing another one coming up on March 10th, but that will probably be in the announcements. But we try to do one. I think one thing we pride ourselves on the Central Campus is I believe we are the only campus out of the, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we are the only campus that has a food pantry on site. And so this is one of the things that our SLC, our student life coordinator has emphasized to us, and we want to continue those great works, especially in these daunting times that we're dealing with of food disparity and water disparity. So we want to continue those great works out of the Central Campus. And I believe that concludes my report.
Just a point of privilege, Northwest has one too. Sorry.
Oh, see, that's why I said, correct me if I'm wrong.
No problem. Thank you.
I got to go back to my SLC and tell them, hey, we're not the only ones.
Northeast has one as well.
Oh, okay. Well, the bubble has bursted.
Thank you, Naeem. I appreciate it.
Thanks for the point of information.
And we'll go over to Northwest.
Madam the President.
Go ahead.
Grace Ndukwa, Northwest SGA President. We don't have any report. We were supposed to have our General Assembly meeting as of February 16, but that was the week that the winter storm hit Texas, and we were unable to hold it because we were in power outage. So we had to move our General Assembly meeting to March. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Please yield it to the next college.
I'll yield the floor to Northeast now.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jacqueline Machuca, and I am the parliamentarian for the Northeast College. Due to the winter storm, our COVID event and our town hall meeting were canceled. Therefore, we don't have a report as of right now. Thank you. I now yield the floor to the Southeast campus.
Hello, my name is Bill Davis, Southeast President, Student Council President. Our report for the last month is we had our executive meeting on January 22nd. And then we had our president's meeting actually the second week of February. Then we held, we were going to hold our Black History Month trivia and poetry day along with our Chinese origami, but those were canceled due to the winter storm. That's the end of our report from Southeast. I yield the floor to Southwest.
Hi, everyone. I'm so sorry. I'm not sure. This is Carrie Wallace, USC Secretary, but also SGA Southwest Treasurer. I'm not sure if one of our other delegates are on, so I'll just go ahead and give a brief report. At the moment, we have recently had our e-board meeting. I want to say that was last month, yes, to discuss a Black History Month event that unfortunately got canceled as well due to the winter storm. And we are working on getting that rescheduled so that our students have something to kind of look forward to after all this chaos and leading up to spring break. We also have our General Assembly meeting coming up, and we are looking forward to attendance in that. As of Wednesday, we had the Houston Food Bank come to our campus to give out groceries to students and those in need at our campus. And I believe that is all that we are currently working on. So that concludes my report. I'll now yield the floor back to Madam President.
Thank you very much, Carrie, and all the other SGA officers for your incredible work. I know that it has been a difficult time for a lot of students not having water and lights and all these different things. So if you are still hearing about your students having issues, please forward them to the United Student Council. We have been invited to an emergency preparedness meeting that'll be coming up next week. So we do want to forward that information to that team to let them know what students are still facing. Excuse me, going on to old business. The Grievances and Investigations Committee is typically run by our parliamentarian. Seeing that our parliamentarian was sworn in today, I did not want them to feel pressured to give this report. I want to just update you all on where we are in this conversation. We did reach out to Dr. Grace to ask her about what does the financial commitment of the college look like as in terms of getting students technology assistance. We have not seen any correspondence that we had discussed last semester. So we were supposed to send out a physical postcard to students in the Northeast area, letting them know about their options and how they can get technology. That has not been completed. We were supposed to get some brochures made of what kind of technology you need to purchase for what type of courses. We were also supposed to get like a remote desktop feature where you can log into a HCC computer from your house to use software like QuickBooks or like different music technologies and softwares. And that just hasn't taken place. And so we are trying to figure out what is going on. And if you still have students who are complaining about the need for technology, please continue to refer that information to us. The Grievances and Investigations Committee last semester did a phenomenal job of putting together survey questions, getting the research on what type of programs are offered at each campus, doing some email surveys to other institutions, asking them about their commitment to helping their students. So shout out to those who were on that committee and who led that effort. Your efforts are thoroughly appreciated, and we will continue the work that you started. And that concludes the report for the Grievances and Investigations Committee. I will now yield the floor to our Vice President, Ms. Liz Singleton, to discuss the district-wide initiatives.
Thank you, Madam President. So last time we met, we were looking to, as far as the syllabus initiative, we were looking to reach out to the Faculty Senate President, Mr. Dilla, and Dr. I think it's Jerome Drain, to follow up with them about what was discussed at the
instructional
week.
Yeah,
instructional week. Excuse me, thank you, President. About the different suggestions that we had for professors when working with students. Unfortunately, due to the weather, Mr. Drain did reach out to us. He stated that he would like to meet at the end of February. Unfortunately, due to the weather, that was not doable. So we have reached back out to Dr. Drain and Mr. Dilla and requested to set up a meeting for sometime this week, or, well, tomorrow's Friday, so hopefully at least by next week, to meet with them and discuss those points and see, what steps have been taken, and also where we can go from here as far as any suggestions that they have. We have not heard back from them yet, but we did email them this week, so we are waiting to set up a meeting with them. Moving on to the website initiative, last time we had discussed about conducting focus groups for the website initiative, getting a certain amount of students from each campus to discuss points about the website that could be improved. Unfortunately, because this is such a large initiative, and because we're at a pressure for time right now, we want to go ahead and take the website letter that we had came up with, where we had kind of constructed, a map or outline for the way that we felt the website should look like, and just kind of condense it a bit, so that we can kind of gather all the work that we've done into something that can also be carried on into next year with the new board members that would be appointed. So that's where we're at with the website initiative. If anyone has any questions or any suggestions, please go ahead and put something in the chat now, or just speak up. we'd love to hear anything that y'all have for us.
Madam Vice President.
Delegate
recognized.
Jesus, Vice President Northwest. I had a question. So if the website does change, do you think that would include presence also changing, or how would that go? Because I know present is the new page where it takes us to the clubs, but if you guys are thinking of changing the website, would the clubs return back to the original page?
So with presence, that wouldn't be touched, actually.
Okay.
Yes, that's an excellent question. That's not something that we would want to touch. Our focus is more so on the main HCC website, as it can tend to be confusing. It's hard to find information. So that's our main focus, is making the HCC website itself more student friendly.
Got you. So like in order to find like the job careers and the programs and things like that. Exactly.
Even typing in something in the search bar, it can give you outdated information, or just it can.
I've seen that. It gives you like 2013 or stuff like that.
Yes. So we want to make sure that we're having relevant information pulled up, and we want to make sure that the website is as easy as possible for students to navigate, and it's not so overwhelming.
All right. Thank you. Now I yield the floor back to you.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any questions or suggestions? Okay, well, I want to go ahead and yield the floor to Ms. Nieves Garcia, our historian, so that she can update everyone on the digital handbook. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice President Elizabeth. So the Chancellor has requested a kind of a platform where USC is able to put in everything that it is doing and what it has done, just so we're able to keep up with the information in a better accessible way, if you can say. So I am currently working on this. I have already started on it, and it should not take that long to finish. This is something that we're hoping the next USC will be able to keep up with. So I'm trying to make it as accessible as possible. That's really all I have on it. Thank you. I give the floor to Madam President Christine to discuss the Governmental and External Affairs Committee.
Thank you very much, ladies. And if there is a tracking system that you use at your SGAs to maybe like write down who you've met with or what you're working on that you think the USC could benefit from, or maybe another student organization, we are more than willing to accept that feedback as well. So thank you for your time, and thank you, Nieves, for working on that project. And thank you, Madam Vice President, for continuing the discussion on the district-wide initiatives. For the Governmental and External Affairs, I'm working with our newly elected treasurer, who previously was working with me on the Governmental and External Affairs Committee, to create a policy platform and to create some recommended bills for the legislative session. For those of you that this sounds like something completely new and you have no idea what I'm talking about, pretty much the legislative session, meaning like the House and the Senate, only meets once every 2 years. So this is the year that the Senate and the House are meeting to sign bills, to put things into effect. And that's a really huge deal because if we miss this window of opportunity, we're not going to have another opportunity, most of us while we're students here, to see a community college day. I've been fortunate that I've gotten to see Community College Day twice. I say fortunate very loosely because I would love to graduate, which I will in May. But pretty much what we're working on right now is ensuring that the legislators are putting together bills that are actually effective to what students need and want to continue their education or to have housing and those type of things. So with Naeem's recommendations and his passion to really see this project thrive, we've decided that we're going to tackle 3 types of bills, 2 relating to healthcare and 1 relating to housing. we would like to see a legislator propose a bill to open a grant opportunity through the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board that would allow community colleges to apply for the opportunity to offer their students housing. So getting some support from our state leaders to make this possible for students. The second bill is to make it a requirement that community colleges offer domestic student insurance options. And then the third bill that we would like to see proposed is incentivization to medical clinics in and around our community that would give discounted services to students when they present their student ID. So what we're currently doing right now is going through bills that have been written in the past, bills that are currently written right now and scheduled to be on discussion in committee or discussion on the hearing floor, and kind of creating what looks like a constitutional amendment, but with more legal jargon, and proposing this to our legislators in our community. We have 3 legislators that we're trying to target between now and next Friday. That is Senator Boris Miles, Representative Jim Murphy, who is the higher education chair for the House, and then Garnett Coleman, who's on the Public Health Committee. We did get clearance from our Governmental and External Affairs Vice Chancellor, Dr. Young, to go ahead and schedule these meetings and to start these conversations. We're also looking for opportunities to testify on bills in the Higher Education Committee that pertain to students. So some of them talk about student loan forgiveness for students who are working during the pandemic, or just different things about housing, or making it that all your credits transfer easily. I mean, there's a couple different bills that we're working on. So we're creating a bill tracker, and then we're also creating those bills to be delivered to our representatives within the next couple days. If this is a project that you are interested in, we would love to have you. You can shoot me an email. You can message me on Teams or Zoom right now, and just let us know that you're interested in being a part of that conversation, and we will get you plugged in. I know that was a lot of legal jargon and a lot of new information, but I think this is something that will be really great for the United Student Council going forward, so that next legislative session, they can come prepare with an actual list of bills that has a lot of backing and support by facts. Yes, Jesus.
Madam President, my question, Jesus Northwest, Vice President. My question was, when you said housing, do you mean like college dorms, for example, like Glenn College has?
Yes, so that would be the idea.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to clarify that.
No problem.
I now yield the floor back to you.
Thank you very much. Are there any other questions, comments, or concerns about the Governmental and External Affairs Committee? Okay, we are running close to time, and I want to give us ample time for SGAs to type in their announcements. So if the SGAs would please type in their announcements in the chat with date, time, and the name of your event. So that way we can cut down on time and get everybody out here for class and other things. But I do want to dedicate the remainder of our time to the open floor discussion, primarily following up with students on if they had issues with payment plans, if they're having continued issues with student communication, and if there's anything that was addressed at their General Assembly meetings that you feel needs to be brought to the district administration's attention.
Madam President?
Yes, ma'am.
I would just like to bring, if there's one thing that you all, that I can bring to the attention, it was brought up today in our SGAE board meeting by the students and by the president, our college president, about the emergency funds. I don't know if you all are aware of the emergency funds for this snowgeddon we just had, but there are funds available. One thing is that it's not you can't really see it on the homepage. You got to kind of click through everything. So our president did send an email today to the communications team at district about making that forefront, because students do not know about that, but there is monies available for you all for the emergency funds for that winter storm. I just want to bring it to your attention. If you need it, or if you know some other students and peers that need it, please let them know it is available.
Thank you very much, Ms. Ashley. That is very helpful. Thank you, Central and Northwest, for putting your events in the chat. I believe Coleman has an event coming up, so if we can get that in the chat. And if any other SGAs has an event, if you could at least let us know in the chat, yes or no, so that way we can move forward. Are there any other pressing student concerns or issues that you would like to address?
Madam President.
Officer recognized.
I guess this question is for Ms. Ashley. And is there a name for that fund that's the emergency fund, or are you guys just calling it the emergency fund? Is there a specific name?
I'm not sure, Naeem, about what the name of that fund is, but I know that there is funding available for students. I actually knew some students who actually did get that funding, who applied, who did need it because of home damage and things of that nature, but it is available for students. So I do encourage, if you do need it, to apply.
Okay, let me see here. And they're putting that on the homepage? Sorry, that's a follow-up question. And they're putting that on the homepage?
That is what my president has sent in to district office, that it be put in the forefront, because it was not something that was just out there in the front banner. So she did email today about that.
Okay, I'm trying to look it up right now. Okay, no further questions. I'll yield the floor back to Madam President.
Thank you, Naeem. If you find it, if you could put it in the chat, that would be great, Naeem. I'm looking at the emergencies and disasters recovery. I don't see anything there. So I don't know if it's on another part of the website, but if anyone has any other comments, questions, or complaints that they would like to bring up, I definitely want to provide you the opportunity to do that.
Madam President.
Delegate recognized.
Grace Anuko, Northwest SGA President. So I have a question concerning the CARES Act funding. I know that as of February, emails were sent out about this funding, and that the deadline was on the 20th, and that funds would be distributed as of February 26th. I got some students who sent me emails that they did not get the funds, and I was wondering, why is it that the ACC ran out the funds, or they're still working on them?
I think that is a great question, and I will be very honest with you, I do not have the answer to it. On the HCC Emergency Cares page, on the homepage, they tell you specifically how much money they have and how much money was given to students. That is definitely something that we wanted to follow up with the Vice Chancellor of Finance about. And so thank you for bringing that to attention. And that's definitely going to be on the list of discussion, because I think some of it goes through financial aid and some of it doesn't. I'm actually going to yield the floor.
You.
Oh, no problem. I'm actually going to yield the floor to Jesus to make an announcement about the Tjcsga Conference next Friday. And Jesus, since we have some new officers, if you could just explain what Tjcsga is, and then what the conference will look like, and how they can get, or who should they talk to get to the conference.
Thank you, Christine. I'm Jesus Canales from Northwest, Vice President. A little bit of feedback for TJC is the Texas Junior College SGA region. We are part of Region B, which has 21 colleges, and it goes from Houston all the way to Galveston. And we come together and we talk about issues concerning our colleges and what we can do to resolve it. And then if there are any serious issues, we bring it up to our state representatives. So our meeting is going to be next Friday from 8 to 11 a.m. The link will be sent out later on, you probably want to check with your advisors. They should be getting the link. As well as I want to make the announcement that you also can nominate your chapters for 3 awards. The first award is Student of the Year. The second award is Chapter of the Year. And the third award is Advisor of the Year. There will be guidance underneath what are the requirements that need to be met, and that needs to be sent out to the TJCS email. I will put down below in the link, no later than the next Friday at 9 p.m. Otherwise, your proposals will not be looked on. Another thing is that each SGA, we're supposed to have, there's a rewards committee, so you're supposed to elect someone from your SGA to serve in that rewards committee. However, for example, since I am representing Northwest as vice president, I am not allowed to serve in that awards committee. So I would have to pick someone else. So if you're, whoever's representing your chapter cannot be in the committee, but you can elect someone else from your SGA. And those are my only announcements. Thank you. I now yield the floor.
Thank you, Jesus. Yes, and if you are on the call and you're not an SGA officer, you can check with your advisor if you'll be able to go, but it mostly is for the SGA officers. Thank you all so much for coming. Is there any other announcements before I adjourn the meeting?
Oh yes, I have one more announcement. I'm so sorry.
Go ahead, Jesus.
Okay, so for the TJSC meeting that is happening next Friday, we're supposed to give a report about our campus. So please, as a SGA in your chapter, gather a report on what events have you guys done, what are the certain issues you guys had and how you resolved it, so you can bring it up to the region meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Jesus.
I now yield the floor back.
Thank you. And thank you to all of those who have been in the region meeting calls and working with that team to build this out. We have 3 HCC schools who are on the region, and not gonna lie, we kind of run it. So thank you all for your hard work. I will now adjourn the meeting at 6:03 p.m. Thank you all so much for attending, and we will see you next month.